Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to Third Wave Trades. Got a good video for you guys. Today we're going to do another update on Tesla. If you guys are following this stock, you guys know just what a massive rally this thing has been on. It's been super bullish, and this is a play that you guys know that we've been talking about on this channel for a while, all the way back when it was at 152, and today, as you guys can see, we closed at $234. We are up $10 in the post market, and there's just so many signs of strength right now. This thing is really about to go hyperbolic. It is a truly third wave trade, and we are going to get deeper into it. Now, in the last video, I kind of gave you guys my scenario, how everything's basically been playing out according to what we've been saying all along. But today I want to do something a little bit different and go into a little bit more nuance and more detail about the wave count and where we are in Tesla's wave count. So as you guys can see over here, this is kind of the agenda. First things first, I do believe that wave 3 is confirmed, given how massive the price has been rallying. To me, this is 100% a wave 3 and not a C wave. As I was saying a couple weeks ago, we had either possibility. I believe we are confirmed for a third wave move. We are in this bullish market, and I think we are going much higher. Secondly, I just want to briefly go over a channeling technique that we use in Elliott wave, which can help us with knowing the fact that this is in fact a third wave breakout, and helping us with price targets. Third, I'm going to try to do a Subwave count of wave 3, sort of on a minor time frame, if it helps you guys who are day traders or who want to scalp it on the way up. It could possibly help you guys, so I want to go into that. Then again, I want to reiterate some price targets, and then somebody had asked me about time targets. Now, time is very difficult to try to come up with. There are some methods that we can use, but they're rough estimates, and it's definitely the hardest part about any kind of technical analysis, is trying to figure out the time when something can hit. But I'll try to go over a couple of those things, obviously with the disclaimer that it's very difficult, and I don't want to be held to those time frames, but maybe it can help you in kind of organizing your trades. And then lastly, I just want to reiterate other technical analysis patterns, such as the bull flag breakout, what we saw last time, and see if there's anything else that we can look at from a technical standpoint that just gives us a target and gives us an idea of how high this stock is headed. All right, guys, so if that sounds good to you guys, then we will get started. But first, a quick disclaimer: I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and research, and or consult with a financial advisor before making any trading or investment decisions. Secondly, if you guys could, please hit the like button down below if you guys find the content useful, and please subscribe to the channel if you guys want more Elliott wave breakdowns on your favorite stocks, cryptos, and commodities. Alright guys, so the first thing I want you guys to take a look at is just the price action. This is the weekly chart, and obviously you guys know what happened over here in terms of the wave count. We had this move up, we had this correction, and then we started this back in January. Now I want you guys to just focus on the weekly and basically what we've been doing over here. First off, if you guys take a look at this week's price action, you guys can see an increase in the volume, which is really big right there. And obviously the price action itself, we ran from $218 this week to $234, and as you guys can see, we are still moving $248 after hours. We are above our 21-day EMA, we're above our 50-day EMA and our 200-day EMA. We're about to get this crossover. It's extremely bullish, right? And this is the weekly chart. If I go to the daily chart, you guys can see what we did today. We've already been above the 21-day EMA. We got that crossover last week, and now we're about to cross over the 21 over the 200-day EMA. This is today's price action. Volume, you guys can see, is still moving up. All right. So overall, just based off of the price action and the volume alone, you guys can see how bullish we are based off our EMAs. We're extremely bullish. All right, I'm gonna bring my drawings back on now, and there's a lot of things that I want to show you guys. So just bear with me with some of these drawings. All right. So all right, first things first is the wave count. Right, I won't go over the macro count. You guys can see my older videos for that. But I will remind you guys that this was our first wave move over here from January's low of $100 all the way to 217 at around February 16th. That was our first wave. Then we had this WXY for our second wave down to 152, which came into this gap that we were expecting to fill, which we called out. And then we started this bullish move up. Now I was saying that this could be either a C wave going to around $260, or a third wave move that could go potentially as high as $350, if not more. Now I am 100% convinced that this is a third wave move going up, because one of the things that I showed you guys even in the last video was the angle at which we're moving, right? This is not a sideways type of move, right? It's not like we're going up, moving sideways a lot, and then going up and basically moving in this like more obtuse angle, right? It's very acute, it's very sharp. We're going straight up, and you can tell by the price action, right? So that's one of the reasonings. The other reasonings why I'm convinced that this is a third wave move is by channeling, and that's the next thing that I want to show you guys. So now what I have over here is the channel for the larger macro move, right? So this was our first wave, and this is our second wave. So this is how you draw your channel. You draw from the origin of the move to the bottom of the second move, and you apply it to the top of the first wave, right? Now basically once we break out of this channel, right, then you know we're in a third wave move. All right, because this channel will contain a C wave, but it won't contain a third wave, and we look like we're on pace to break out of this channel, right? So a third wave normally breaks it, a fourth wave normally comes back and tests it for support, and then we bounce for a fifth wave, right? Now that's in the macro count. I can show you guys channels also within this third wave move in and of itself, and then we're going to get into this into the micro subwave count. So over here you guys can see this is a channel that I have drawn up for within the third wave. So basically this is our our subwave count. We have a 1, 2, another 1, 2. You know what, let me show you this on an hourly time frame so you guys can see it a little better. All right, so now this is our entire third wave move so far, starting from down here. You guys can see we had our first wave move up here and our second wave move down here. That's our 1, 2, followed by another 1, 2, and then another 1, 2. And when you start to get these successive 1, 2s, you know you're in an extended move, which is going to be extremely bullish, because out of the 3 impulsive moves within a 5-wave structure, one of the waves, either 1, 3, or 5, is going to be extended, meaning they're going to be a nested 1, 2, 1, 2 count. So you have 5 waves within that wave, and within those 5 waves you can have 5 waves, and so on and so forth. So essentially this third wave move is made up of 5 waves, and the third wave within that third wave move is made up of 5 waves. So if you guys can kind of understand that idea, right, it's really kind of like a waveception. You will understand why these third wave moves become so bullish, because it is usually the third wave that is the extended move. Now my point in saying all of that is to say this. So we had our 1, 2, 1, 2. Now I drew the channel for this wave count, right? And you can see we broke out of that, right? Likewise, I could draw a channel for this blue 1-2 wave count, and you guys can see today we broke out of that, right? So we're constantly breaking out of these channels, these 1-2 channels, which means we're getting this right here is the third wave of this move, and we are starting the third wave of this move. And ultimately what's going to happen is we're going to break out of this channel, I believe, for the larger third wave move, and we're going to essentially just keep going higher, right? So that's kind of like how channeling can kind of show you just how impulsive we are. The channel is not able to contain the price action. It's a breakout of a third wave move. We broke out of this channel, we broke out of this channel, and we're going to break out of the larger channel, in my opinion. All right, so you guys can see we're still moving. We're at 247. Most likely, I think we'll open up with, obviously a huge gap tomorrow morning, and those gaps, we had one the other day, are indicative of third wave moves because the price action is so impulsive. So in my mind, I'm 100% convinced that this is a third wave move and that we're moving a lot higher. All right, so that's the channeling technique. I'll hide those channels and kind of like to show you guys the wave count that I have. I'm still figuring it out as we go, but I'm pretty sure that this is a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then this could be like a third wave happening here. This might even be another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But essentially what we're going to see now, I personally believe that any pullbacks that come now are really just buying opportunities, because they're not going to be steep pullbacks. Somebody commented on my channel yesterday. They said that my previous video didn't age well. That's because yesterday the stock was down, I think about $5 or $6, completely ignoring the fact that since the time that I posted that video, we've been up like $20 or $30, and today we're up another $20. The pullbacks are going to happen, guys, but they're really just buying opportunities when you're in such a bullish, impulsive trend like this. All right, so you can use those channeling techniques. Really, at this point, I think the best buying opportunities are going to come when on the hourly chart you have your 21 EMA. Anytime we come back and hit that, or the 50 EMA, you guys can see we're bouncing off of those, right? So those to me are buy zones right here. Anytime we hit, right, we're going to be bouncing off of those. So all right, so basically what I see happening now is basically going to be a series of, as we move up, 3s and 4s. So because they have to close these 1-2s that we started. So we'll get a third wave, a fourth wave, right, that'll bounce off the 21-day EMA, another third wave, fourth wave, third wave, fourth wave, until we go higher and finish out this larger third wave count. So you guys can see right now, I kind of have this over here just waiting for the price action to play out. Once it's all said and done, right, then over here we are going to have our third wave that we are looking for, right? And I'm gonna go over price targets and time targets, but essentially we're looking for this third wave to be completed somewhere up here around the 300 to 400 range, right? It could get really impulsive. So I kind of shared with you guys my price targets, right, using the Fibonacci extension tool. I'll remind you guys of what some of those targets can be. All right, so we're gonna apply it. All right, so our first target for the third wave is going to be the 161.8%, which is 337. That's the standard move for a third wave move. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I personally think that this is going to go a lot higher, probably the 2% or the 2.61.8%. So taking us to 380 or possibly even $450. All right. The next target after that would be 523. At that point, we're looking at basically just making all-time highs, right? If we get to 450 or 523, but we'll cross that bridge once we get there. For now, I think the safest target is 161.8. Right. I definitely think we're going to come back and fill this gap that I told you guys about, which was at the $258 to $263 range. We'll definitely fill that, in my opinion. And once we start to get to this level, we know that we could rule out the C wave. Right. Technically, right now, it could still be a C wave. In my mind, we're in a third wave move, right? But technically, by the rules of Elliott wave, we can still be a C wave. In other words, this can probably just come to the 1-to-1 level, and then we can start to move down. Seeing that we're basically like it confirmed to be like in a bull market with market rallying and everything, I personally think that we are in a third wave move with Tesla, and we're gonna go a lot higher than this 1-to-1 level. But this is still the safest target. Once we pass that, right, then we're looking at these levels in succession, right? The 1.23, the 1.382, and ultimately the 1.618 for the third wave move. If we break that, 380 is a target, and like I said, 450 and then 520 based on those other Fibonacci levels. All right, so that takes care of kind of like the price targets, how high we can go. It really just depends. If this thing keeps moving as it is and the market keeps pushing, this thing can really push a lot higher than your standard 1.618. All right, just want to make that clear to you guys. Now, the hard part is the time aspect. Somebody asked me about the time. Do I think that this could hit 240 to 280? My answer to them was yes. They asked me that about 3 or 4 days ago, and as you guys can see, after hours we're at 246. So definitely there's a couple of ways that we can try to figure out the time, but it is hard, right? First things first, if this is a third wave move, it's going to be very impulsive, and by impulsive I mean it's going to move up in price at an extremely fast pace. All right, now if you guys see this move that happened from January 6th to February 16th, that was basically $100 move within a time frame of about 6 weeks. Okay, $100 move within the time frame of about 6 weeks. And if you guys see from here, we are pretty much in a similar trajectory. So we started the bottom of this third wave move on April 27th, and we could get to the top of this channel, which would be a $100 move by June 8th. Now, this part of the move, the first wave and the second wave of the third wave, was a little bit slow, but this third wave move, I think, is going to be really fast, and it's going to pick up steam as we go more into the middle of the third wave move, right? So I think it's going to become more impulsive the higher we get. We're going to get there faster. So I don't think it's going to take too long. But of course, when buying options and stuff, you guys have to worry about data decay and things like that. It's always best to give yourselves extra time. Now, another tool that we can use, guys, to try to figure out a time for when we can reach some of these targets is using the Fibonacci time extension tool, right? So we're going to do something similar with our price extension tool, where you're going to apply it to the beginning of the first wave. We're going to go to the end of the first wave, and then I'm going to apply it to the bottom of the third wave move over here, right? And I'm actually going to change our time frame to a weekly time frame as opposed to a daily, because it'll give us a more kind of accurate estimate of like the week when something's going to happen as opposed to the exact day, right? It allows for a little bit more rounder numbers, right? So far So the key levels I think that we really want to look at, and you guys can see the numbers down here, are the 1.618, right, which is this, which is the week of July 3rd. The 2%, which is the week of July 17th, and then the 2.618, which is August 14th. I think that basically one of those days, right, depending on how extended and how fast this moves, we're gonna see our third wave possibly top out on one of those days. To be safe, I would go with the latest time frame out of all of those, which is August 14th. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if it happened on one of those other days. Now, I'm not sure how accurate this is. I use this, but rarely. And I got to be 100% honest with you guys. I don't know how often it is correct, but theoretically, this does work if you use these same levels, the 1.618, the 2, and the 2.618. But I think, like I said, use it on a weekly time frame, right? So it gives you kind of a weekly time frame as to when you can top out somewhere within that week, as opposed to a specific like daily time frame, right? So I guess I would say by August, mid-August, we could possibly hit our price target of somewhere from $300 to $400 for our third wave move, right? For Tesla, right? So that's the time frame aspect of it. Now, what else did I want to talk to you guys about? I guess that's really it. So you guys can see that we have this minuscule count, which is basically a series of 1-2, 1-2s. And once we get into the 3, which I believe we're doing now because of just how bullish we are and how much we're running after hours, with the volume increasing as it is, I think we are really going to see a major move really fast. And we're going to start rallying super hard in the coming days. There will be those pullbacks, like I said, guys, maybe a $5, $6, even $10 pullback, but in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing. As you guys can see from our EMAs, from our volume, from the price action, from our Elliott wave count, everything on this stock is looking super bullish. In the market in general is looking really bullish. Now, I did show you guys before that we have our bull flag, right? If you guys are not believers in the Elliott wave theory, which I know for some reason there are a lot of naysayers when it comes to Elliott wave theory, you guys can just see this as a basic bull flag right here, right? And we've clearly broken out, right? Here's our pole, here is our flag. We broke out, we got our confirmation, and now we're moving higher. Based off of that, you guys can use a price target of a 1-to-1, right, from the area of the breakout, and you guys can get a price target of $310, right? Now, I told you guys last time that in between we would have a couple of other price targets, and one would be that 237, right? So we have 233 from this high, from this peak. We have 237 from over here, which we basically crossed in after hours. We have one over here around 246, which is where we are in after hours right now as well. And then there's not another one until we get to this gap. So I expect, if not tomorrow, right, maybe it needs to consolidate a little bit. Tomorrow or the upcoming week, I think we go straight to 250, 260 into this gap. And from there, we just move a lot higher. All right, guys. So I think that's really all that I have for today. I really wanted to give you guys that update and just share a little bit of what I'm seeing. Keep in mind, guys, we've been talking about this play since it was all the way down to 150, since before that even, right? When it was at 180, we said that it would go down to 150, and then we would get the bounce for the third wave. And so far everything has been playing out exactly how we would think based off of the Elliott wave count. So it's just a matter of staying in the play. But as of right now, it's all green ahead as far as I see it. Except for those minor pullbacks, stay in the play, guys. Don't get too worried about that, because they're just more buying opportunities, in my opinion. If you guys are long already, I think all signs show that this is still a long hold, a good swing trade. And if you want to scalp it on the way up, because there's going to be plenty of opportunities to scalp and day trade this move as well. Alright guys, that's really all I got. I just wanted to give you guys that update and tell you that I think that we are moving a lot higher. So stay tuned, guys. I'll continue to give you guys updates as we move higher. But until then, I will be back with more. Peace.